He goes, have you seen a dog chasing a kid on a bike? I said, no. I said, I didn't know dogs could ride bikes.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
I was asked about if I had any instances, anything happened to me once I got out of prison. When I first got out, I was living in Bolivar, but we moved up here. But when I first got here, you know, nobody knew me. It's a small town, nobody knew me or anything. So it took me a while to get to know people. One of the things that happened to me is I went down in here with the Casey's, and there was some woman there, older woman, and she, I heard her telling, there was a military guy in there too. I heard her telling the cashier, which was a woman, man, I think he's been in prison. You know, somebody said he's been in prison. And I'm heading towards the back, and I hear the military guy say, well, if he's done his time, you know, he's done his time, man. And, you know, don't. She goes, but you never know about these type of people. He goes, man, leave the guy alone. Anyway, she keeps going on, this elderly woman. And the cashier was a younger woman. I come back up to the front, and I couldn't help it. I stared at the older woman, and she kind of takes a step back. You know, she's right there talking to the cashier. I lean over the thing towards the cashier. She leans back. I lean farther, even closer, as close as I could. I go, boo! And she jumps. The older woman jumps. The military guy starts laughing. He says, hey man, let me buy you a beer. I said, man, I'm on parole. I'm on paper. I can't have a beer, you know. And he goes, that was funny. But not long afterwards, there was a small tornado that went through this town. I was going around asking people if they needed help. It was weird because when I was growing up, you ask people if they need help, and if, you know, if it's on something like that, and they would accept it. But only one person accepted my help. And I found out later that it was because, how can I put this? People are wary of people scamming people, you know. Apparently there's a lot of people go around offering to help for money. I wasn't wanting money. I was just wanting to help people that, you know, trees down in their yard, and maybe pieces of their house had been messed up or whatever. I was just wanting to help. No charge. That's what you do as a neighbor. But because people going around trying to charge people when a disaster hits, people, they really don't want to help. But the one guy, he did. So I was helping him move this tree, and I seen that woman that I seen in Casey's, the elderly woman, and she goes, hey, come here. So I walked over and I said, what can I do for you, ma'am? She goes, no. She goes, I want to apologize to you. And I said, what for? She goes, well, I made some bad judgments on you and said some things about you down in you remember the time in Casey's? I said, yeah. And she goes, I just want to apologize. I said, look, I understand. You know, ex-con moves into the neighborhood. People should be kind of worried. I said, I would be. I said, if there's one moving now, until I got to know him, I'm going to be kind of leery of him. And she goes, well, I just want to apologize. I said, well, I appreciate that. And I see her from time to time. We get along good. The last thing I want to talk about, there was the dog that used to run around. It used to chase kids going to school and from school. It tried to attack my neighbor, who's also my boss. Tried to attack him. It just runs after people. It attacks people's dogs in their own yard. Tries to get to them, you know. But one day I'm out on the porch, and a cop comes by, and he stops. He goes, hey, come here. So I walked out there, and he says, I said, what's wrong? I thought I was in trouble almost. He goes, have you seen a dog chasing a kid on a bike? I said, no. I said, I didn't know dogs could ride bikes. Well, he peels out, goes to this four-way, the stop thing. It's just like, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 feet from him, from where I was standing. Squeals his tires back up. He goes, all I needed was a yes or no. All I needed. Yes or no. And you had to come up with that smart-ass remark. I said, I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. I said, that was just out there. I said, I know what dog, I haven't seen him today, but I do know what dog you're talking about. I said, it's a tan-looking dog, kind of a big dog. But I said, I haven't seen him today. He goes, do you know where it lives? Oh, who owns it? And I said, no, I don't. I said, I see it running around town all the time. I said, sometimes there's another dog with it. And he goes, well, if you see it, let me know. And I said, okay. Later on, I don't know, I guess it's a month or two later, I was down at Casey's, and there was two cops in there, and one of them was him, and he was ordering something, but the first cop was a young cop. He's looking at me. Now, marijuana is legal in Missouri now. I was tired that day. I was on nothing. I was just tired. I hadn't hardly slept that night. He goes, the young cop goes, are you high? He goes, your eyes are red and glazed. I said, have you been eating donuts? Your eyes are glazed too. So he started laughing. He went and told the other cop that. And the other cop came over there, just kind of smiling. He goes, I remember you. Seen any dogs lately riding bikes? I said, no, I haven't. And so he tells this cop, he says, he goes, remember when I was trying to find that dog? And the guy goes, yeah. He goes, well, I asked him if he seen a dog chasing a kid on a bike, and he said he didn't know that dogs rode bikes. And the young cop started laughing again, and he says, man, you need to watch what you say, and you might get in trouble one day. He goes, so you're a little smart ass, huh? And I said, well, you know, sometimes, not always. I said, but I told the other guy, I said, I apologize again. It was just too good to pass up. He goes, just shook his head, and we went on. So anyway, it's two stories. Well, that's another story about how things were when I first got out, and different things that's happened to me and things. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.